Hello, everybody. This is Jan Paval with Access Arts Live and the Organ Livestream Action Roundup for the week of January 19th to January 26th, 2026. That's right. We are moving well into the new year. We have a lovely lineup of live streams for you with live streams coming from Toronto to Oxford to London to Moscow to Paris, with accomplished organist, with up-and-coming young organist, collaborative organist, organists with sand animation, and organists who are playing by audience request out there in Siberia. I'll be telling you about all of these different performances in just a moment. But before I go any further, let me remind you, if you are watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching this on any of our other platforms and on Facebook as well, do yourself a favor, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Wherever you may see this, you can follow us. And in return, we'll make sure you get more than 1,000 live links to live performances all year long, including weekly and daily updates about live organ recitals. Having said that, let me make sure that we've gone live on Instagram as well. We now have, and I can start with the first of this week's live streams, which come to us. The first three live streams to tell you about, they are the usual weekly live streams that during the regular year, and some of them are picking up again after having been down for the holidays. First, Tuesday, January 20th, St. James Cathedral's weekly live stream features Angus Sinclair, church organist at St. John the Evangelist in Kitchener, Ontario, associate of the Royal College of the Royal Canadian College of Organists, freelance organist, and collaborative pianist with groups like the Three Cantors and various choirs, and also a composer. That man you see seated there, Angus Sinclair, he's quite a guy. Well, the reference to Three Cantors, that was a very popular singing group in Ontario from 1997 to 2016, while Angus Sinclair was the accompanist of the group. He was formerly with St. Paul's Cathedral in London, Ontario, with St. George's in Middlesex Centre. He accompanied the Blythe Festival Singers. He has a number of compositions in several different genres. We don't know what he's going to be playing, but I can tell you he's a veritable specialist in really what I call now music. He has done concerts playing music composed exclusively in the last 6 years. So he may be playing some of that. I don't know. The organ was rebuilt in 1976 by L.I. Phelps and Associates. 87 ranks, 67 speaking stops, over 4 manuals and 6 divisions, 5,101 pipes. So there you have an accomplished, highly experienced organist with very diverse background. Now that's followed tomorrow. Oh, and if I forgot to give you the time on that, that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Toronto time, which will be 10 in the morning in LA. And over here in Europe, it'll be 7 o'clock this evening. Next up is a young guy, okay? Wednesday, January 21st, Queen's College, Oxford, live streams a return appearance by organist Rudyard Cook, an Oxford student, a cellist with the University Orchestra and the University Sinfonietta, a chamber musician, and the continuo player for the New Chamber Opera Group. That'll be at 2:10 in the afternoon on Wednesday, 8:10 in the morning on the East Coast, 10 o'clock at night down under in Australia. I won't tell you what time it is. It's in California because it's just not a watchable time. Rudyard Cook is becoming a regular in this Queen's College live stream series. Excuse me there. He played there just late November, just a couple months ago. And he's enrolled studying music at the Queen's College, Oxford. The organ is a Frobenius organ built and installed by the Danish Frobenius firm in 1965. And in 2015, when they had the 50-year anniversary, they had a top organist from around the world come in and play the complete organ works of Bach. But we don't know what young Rudyard Cook is going to be playing on Wednesday, so you'll just have to hope for the best. After that, also on Wednesday, but I don't know how you could choose it over Rudyard Cook, the Temple Church London will be live streaming as usual at their 2:15 in the afternoon European time schedule, which is 8:15 on the East Coast in the US. That will be Wednesday, January 21st, but they don't tell us who's going to be playing. So I showed you a picture of the organ. It's a famous organ. It was originally built for a ballroom in Scotland in 1927 with the inaugural recital being given by Marcel Dupré. Then they shipped it up to London in 1954. It's a Harrison & Harrison limited organ, which was completely overhauled about a decade ago. But that's all we know about that concert. It'll be on a terrific organ. Also on Wednesday, another terrific concert by a very accomplished top organist comes to us from Moscow. Wednesday, January 21st, the Moscow Philharmonic's concert organist Alexander Fiseysky takes you on a tour of North German composers who formed the musical milieu of Johann Sebastian Bach. Bach, Sweelinck, Scheidemann, Weckmann, and Buxtehude, live streamed from Moscow's Catholic Cathedral by Artbene's YouTube channel. That will be at 6 in the evening in Europe, noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast. Well, Fiseysky, he's the top organist with the Moscow Phil. He's performed all over the world. He's the kind of guy who acts as a jury member at international organ competitions. He's lectured at the Royal Academy of Music in London, at the Hochschulen in Vienna and in Hamburg, at the Peabody Conservatory in Boston, etc. And he's published an anthology of Russian organ music. This concert is the third in his series called The Anthology of Organ Music, meaning all of it. And in this one, and he's taking the public from antiquity to the European Middle Ages. And this one is dedicated to masters of the Northern German Baroque. So he'll do Sweelinck's Fantasy in D in imitation of an echo, among other things. Scheidemann, Magnificat primi toni, Weckmann's Magnificat secundi toni, Buxtehude's choral arrangement of Nun bitten wir den Heiligen Geist, etc., 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 finishing up with the Fantasy and Fugue in G minor on a theme by Reinken. Top organist playing a fine. We'll give you the link to that organ too. It's a Kuhn organ, which was donated by a Protestant cathedral to the Catholic Cathedral in Moscow in the early 2000s. And it must be it's a 4-manual organ. It must be a fairly good organ by Moscow standards, because they get top people like Fiseysky coming in to play on it instead of somewhere else. And it's the Catholic Cathedral. It's not even an Orthodox cathedral. Then we move on to the weekend, where there are 2 more concerts coming to you out of Moscow. And the first of these will be with Fyodor Stroganov and Lydia Miller. Yes, what does that picture have to do with an organ concert? Enjoying the winter snows? Well, this Saturday, January 24th, organist-composer Fyodor Stroganov gathers a musical ensemble, clarinet, violin, and cello, to illustrate the story of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Snow Queen, retold by actress Ingeborga Lyubomirskaya and visually illustrated with the lovely whimsical sand animation by the expert Lydia Miller. That'll be early in the day here, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Europe, 8 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, 11 o'clock in the evening down under in Australia. The concert will start. These are lovely concerts. I love this sand animation, and I'm sorry I don't have more photos of it that I can put up for you. I'm wondering if I can't find, hold on, let me see if I can find some other examples of sand animation for you. Because it is absolutely beautiful. I'm having trouble getting them on screen, so I don't think I can show you. But it's as the story is being told in Russian, which most of you will not be able to understand. The sand animation artist Lydia Miller will be creating these pictures which tell the story of the Snow Queen, the story of Kay and Gerda, and how the Snow Queen comes and takes the little boy away. Stroganov is he's a man of varied talents, and he doesn't hesitate to. I want to show you an example of something else that he did not long ago. This was back in November when he did a piece on Bach and his wife. And there's Stroganov there as Bach, and the same actress who's doing the narration in Saturday's fairy tale presentation, playing Alma Magdalena, Bach's wife. And it was all about how important Bach's wife was to his career and to his life. So anyway, the actual, now very often when the Roman Catholic Cathedral does these sand animation things, there'll be a long list of different pieces of music that they play by various composers. Not so this time, because sometimes what happens is Stroganov, who is also a composer, composes the music to go with the story. So this presentation will start out with Bach's Chorale Prelude in F minor for organ solo. But after that, it's musical illustrations by Fyodor Stroganov, along with sand animation illustrations by Lydia Miller. And Stroganov is he's an assistant professor at the Moscow Conservatory too. So he knows Alexander Fiseysky, who is playing there on Wednesday at the same cathedral. He's a top guy, and I guarantee you this will be a lovely, lovely performance. Then later the same day at the Roman Catholic Cathedral, there's another concert. And this one is viola and organ. Saturday, January 24th, Artbene live streams an unusual organ viola concert with the Catholic Cathedral organist Marina Omelchenko and Italian violist Daria Eibuschitz, playing lyrical melodies by Morricone, Piazzolla, a suite from Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet, and other works by Gabriel Pierné, Fauré, Mascagni, Böhlmann, Rachmaninoff, Tchaikovsky, etc. This will be at 6 in the evening in Moscow. 6 in the evening in Europe, noon on the East Coast, 9 in the morning on the West Coast, 8 o'clock in the evening in Moscow. That they'll be doing the other works include things like Gabriel Pierné's Prelude for organ. They'll be doing Morricone's Gabriel's organ. they'll be doing a piece by Elgar called Love's Greeting, a piece by Riccardo Drigo, Seratina Veneziana. Now, the thing about the organist, Marina Omelchenko, she's a resident organist in that church. As for Daria, her name doesn't look Italian, but she identifies as Italian. I checked out her Facebook page, and she also has a YouTube channel. She's into all kinds of music, from classical to jazz. I found one video of her playing Chris Correa's a piece by Chris Correa, which I have always loved. I think it was called Something to Forever. I forget the title now. I forget everything these days. But anyway, I think that'll be a lovely concert. She strikes me as very talented and very creative in the way she uses her talent. So that's what, three live stream organ concerts coming out of Moscow this week for you to enjoy. But let's bring it all back then instead to Europe and Thomas Hospital. Sunday, January 25th, St. Eustache Church in the heart of Paris, LIVEstreams resident concert organist Thomas Hospital, playing his own transcriptions of Mozart and Ravel and a transcription of Camille Saint-Saëns. That'll be at the usual 5 in the evening, Paris time, 11 in the morning on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. It's Mozart's variations on vous dirai-je, maman? Shall I tell you, mother? Kershaw 265 that he transcribed. Then Ravel's Le Tombeau de Couperin, as transcribed by Thomas Hospital for the organ, and 4 portions from a Prelude, Forlan, Menuet, and Rigaudon. And then Camille Saint-Saëns' Dance Macabre, transcribed by Louis Robillard. Thomas Hospital is rising to glory these days. In December, he did a concert, which was live streamed that we told you about, with the Cologne Philharmonic, and just knocked their socks off. I mean, he did a Mozart concerto for orchestra and organ, but then he did a couple solo pieces, and the audience loved it. And then this month, he's been in, or he's going to be in, playing with the Los Angeles Philharmonic. And that will not be live streamed. So he's really up and coming and onward and upward. I like the guy. Now, that organ has 7,952 pipes and 115 stops. But if you want to know more about the organ and get a better sense of Thomas Hospital, you can go to our YouTube channel, and I have like a 35-minute live stream interview I did with him, which is just fascinating. If you want to know even more about the guy. And then finally, to wind up, there's one more live stream I want to tell you about, which will be taking place on Monday, January 26th. It's excuse me. This will be Dmitry Ushakov, who is the concert organist with the Tomsk Philharmonic, and he has this interactive, only live-streamed concert series that he does on Mondays, Monday evenings in Tomsk, which is afternoon here in Europe. So it'll be at 7 o'clock in Tomsk and 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Europe, and 8 o'clock in the morning in New York. And in this particular concert, he's taking all suggestions from the audience, which can email in what they want him to play. And then he talks about the pieces he plays and all that. If you don't speak Russian, it may be hard to follow, but it would be interesting to find out, well, what do all these Russians out there in Tomsk want to hear on the organ? And that's what we have for you this week, folks. I hope that one, some, or any of these live streams uplifts you, appeals to you, or just shows you a heck of a good time. And I'll remind you before leaving, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and we'll make sure you get 1,000 live streams to enjoy in the coming year. Ciao for now.